Welcome back to another episode of I Built a Bunch of Stuff in Minecraft. I took a little bit of a train ride from the last place I was in the last video I made so that I could get to a place where you can see this big city thing start to form in the distance. This is my third floating castle. The second one I haven't put in a video yet. And it's kind of large. I built a village out of bricks below it and ended up with a really big city thing. The uh, the mountains that I got, and there's like with many of the things I built, there is a stronghold underneath it. The mountains and all that, all this stuff was plucked from my second world, and uh, and then moved here, and then I built the castle and I built all the buildings in this save world, in this world that I'm in now, this seed. Um, and I think it turned out pretty good. Giant curved walkways up in the air and floating castle, floating towers, all kinds of stuff. This village used to be populated in a previous with villagers in a previous I guess version of Minecraft, but in the one where they have deserted villages, I ended up with this village looking like this now. So, and then what happens is when they make a major change to Minecraft, I actually take all my buildings, copy them out of the old world, and put them into the new world so that I can have things like this. Or when they added granite and that kind of stuff, I did a similar thing so there would be granite near the things that I built. Um, and so anyway, here it is. I guess let's go the rest of the way into the city. Just another little building to stop, another little train station thing here. See all the little brick buildings underneath it. I'm gonna go ahead and just get off here. This was kind of supposed to be the main entrance to the thing, so I figured I'd get off and just take a look at it real quick, and then I'm gonna keep going to where the train stops. Actually, it's probably a better idea if I don't. I'm gonna go get the mic. No, I'm gonna lose the mic. I'm gonna get the mic card. Okay. So I'll show you the city now, and then I'll show you where it ends up later. So this is the first tower I built here. It's big, but nothing in it. Like a lot of my stuff, haven't never really got too much into building furniture. And then there's walkways leading everywhere. And it might be time to sleep, so this is more visible. But maybe seeing it with all the lights on is kind of cool too. Let's see. So I'll go ahead and jump down here and kind of walk through the village, run through the village real quick. I've got little buildings built into the mountains. I've got all kinds of buildings all over the place. And they're all based on the older style of Minecraft villages. It's now been replaced by the newer ideas, I guess, from the people at Mojang. And I just have buildings all over the place in here. This is kind of my central area where I stored all the materials as I was making stuff and digging stuff out. And then over here, there is a fountain that I built. You can start to see how it looks at night. The fountain has torches in between and the dry spot in the middle of it. Pretty cool looking. Pretty simple but cool looking. And then just more of these houses. I kind of like looked at the way the houses were built in regular villages and just emulated that, but with red bricks instead of with wood like most of them are built. And I ended up with kind of a different looking but cool little village slash city underneath a giant floating castle. And I even did things like this building right here, just another building. But occasionally when I could find the time, I would do things like this and build a little basement. Just because, why not? If you didn't know it was there, you'd probably walk right past it. And let's see, I guess it's time to go up into the castle. So let's do that. There are floating towers like this, not really floating, but kind of like barely attached to floating unlikely pieces of land all over the place. Let's see if I can find the way back up here. It's been a while since I visited this thing. Okay, here's one of the towers. Okay, basically up here. That's part of the castle. If you go over here, you can kind of take a view. There's the train station that we came in on. There's the train station there, and then it came that way, and then more towers. Just that's the one we saw earlier. There's another one here. They're all over the place. There's the big tower that we came into when I got off the minecart down there, and here's this big castle. So let's see if I can find a way get up in there. Some of this stuff was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy to build some of this stuff without falling to my death. I will tell you, I'm not very good at stopping at the edge of things, but I managed to do it. Get out to the edge, add a block to it. That's the train I came in on before. That's about where I was when I started shooting the video, back over there. Okay, let's go up here. Going into one of the side entrances of the castle. And it's similar to the second castle I built, which I haven't put in a video yet, but has a much bigger tower on top. Actually, it's a sort of a partial copy of the second castle I did. I used MC Edit to move it over here, but then modified it quite a bit. This is a little throne I built, some pictures on the wall. The big significant difference here is the giant tower on top. Which is pretty giant. Has another walkway over there to get from one place to another, and it's pretty large. So that's most of the castle. Go over to the other end of it here. Okay, this is the other side of the castle from where. So here's where we got off the minecart, down in here somewhere, and then there's a little place for jousting tournaments or something. I don't know, sort of a sports theater thing. Another massive tower in the distance, and some other stuff that I'll show you in a minute. And I guess now it's time to go down and get a better view of the castle. How exactly do you get to go down a ladder? Okay, here's from the side, giant tower. And if I go back down here, there's a way to go over here. So basically, this was the castle, and here it is again, floating behind the towers that are all around it and all that. And this tower over here was supposed to be, in my mind, the wizard's tower, where the wizards were doing their thing and learning how to do their stuff and whatever. So I guess it might be time to sleep so we can see stuff better. And where did it go? There's what it looks like in the daytime. Similar to the way it looks in the nighttime. Brick buildings below it. Here's the big sort of stadium that I built. Pretty simple, but kind of cool. And let's see. Let's go up here. This is sort of a little colorful church or something I built that's sitting on some land that was sticking out over everything else. So it's sort of floating off the edge of this mountain. Not a lot to it, but it's sort of, I don't know, thought it looked kind of cool. Thought the area needed something like this. Uh, this is the Wizard's Tower. And I'm kind of intentionally not showing the next thing that is built there. And it's a big tower with 4 smaller towers sitting off the edges of it. And it takes a long time to get up to the top. Probably not worth going all the way up there for this video, but it looks pretty cool on the inside. And it's a lot of bricks. At some point I'll take you to the place where I sort of a quarry that I made where I got most of the materials to make all this stuff. Anyway, so then if we go down here, come around, we will get to one of the later things I built. I added it to this area. It's my version of the Arc De Triomphe from Paris, France. And this is where the stronghold is kind of underneath where we're standing now. But there it is. It's pretty big. And I uses a lot of the newer blocks that they've made available to us builders. And it's really fairly close to this tower and all that. Yeah, that turned out pretty awesome. And right here, this was already kind of like this, but I dug it out a little bit. There is a stronghold. This is a big train station kind of thing. There's a stronghold here that's kind of down underneath, but near the canyon. You have to go down into the canyon, and then there's a stronghold down underneath there somewhere. And I kind of dug some of this out to make it more open to the air, because I thought it would look cool. And those poor animals are going to be there for a long time, I'm guessing. Alright, so then if I go back up here, this is the train station thing. Let's see, where do they, here's where they stop. The train stops, one train stops here on this side, and then out the other side, this goes to yet another place that came from my second world. And there it is, huge. So I guess it wouldn't be worth coming all the way here if we didn't go up on top of it. We're inside of it. I really did go all out with this thing. Go out and see what's out here. This is, you look here, you can kind of see where I pasted this into the world. Sort of a cliff here, but then I kind of added extra blocks and stuff to kind of make it look like it belongs there. I've kind of done that all over the place. Let me go out the other side and kind of see some more of that. Maybe. Yeah, so I merged this world in here. So over here, there's some of this has been added on to make it look like it belongs there. There's kind of merge everything in and make it look like this was all one world the whole time. Anyway, let's go back up to the top. All the way up to the top. And here it is. There's the place we're going to go. And here's the direction we came from. There's the floating castle. Here's the floating wizard's castle tower thing. And there's that little church that I built. Sort of a non-denominational church, I guess. And this is the top of it. Torches guarantee the snow to be in an interesting pattern. And that's the thing. That's the Arc De Triomphe. I'm going to go down and get another view of it from down there. I can put this minecart back where it should be, which is over here. And this right here, I thought about building some kind of castle or something on top of it, but I haven't got to it yet. Maybe someday. There's the Arc again. Kind of see some of the towers in the distance. And I guess that concludes this episode of stuff I built in Minecraft. So, talk to you later and have fun.